Okay, so the next step is to do our right to left rectangles. And what you'll see happen as you go through this row is you'll see that these rectangles left to right are now going to take the shape of a square because they're working under that row on top. So that'll come out as you work across the row. So here's what we've done so far. We have our bottom triangles, our left to right. This is our right side triangle. And I'm going to switch back to the brown yarn again so that you can see what's happening. So I do like the double pointed needle. If you're working with that, you can slip them all onto the left needle or you can work them off to your right needle. It's up to you. And again, this is different than working left to right. So the first stitch is a slip stitch, and I have to remember that I have those two yarns. So I have two stitches that really are only one, and I'm slipping them. And then I'm going to knit 9. Sometimes when you put the stitches on the needle, you can kind of do them backwards, and sometimes it's easiest just to stitch into the back of a loop like that. I don't think there's really, to me, there doesn't seem to be that much of a difference, so you can go either way. You can knit into the back of the stitch when you're putting them on the needle. Or not. Okay, so that's the end of my white row. So now, whereas before we slipped 1 and then knitted 9, now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to slip 1 and purl 9. And as you remember, the last time we did that purl 2 together at the end of the row, and this time instead of a knit or purl 2 together. Now this is one stitch because this is what I slipped originally, and I want to get it to brown. So there we go. So before on the other side we did the purl 2 together at the end. We're not going to knit 2 together. Instead, we're going to slip 1, knit 1, and then pass the stitch over. Okay, so there's 9. Okay, and there's my gap. So I'm going to slip this one. The 9th stitch I'm going to slip. I'm going to knit this stitch, and then I'm going to pass that slip stitch over. And that's how, I'm just going to tighten my yarn up there. And that's how you make that decrease. So now we're going to slip a purl, purl the 9, and so that slip 1, knit 1, pass, slip, pass, stitch, slip stitch over, whichever way you want to say it, is SL1 for slip 1, and then K1 for knit 1, and then the abbreviation is PSSO for pass, slipped, stitch, over. It's easy for me to say. And so that's going to be the shorthand you'll see in a pattern. So again, we're at our 10th stitch. We're going to slip 1, which is SL1. We're going to knit 1, K1. We're going to PSSO, and that's a decrease. So instead of doing 2 together, we're doing it in that fashion. And I'll do it just one more time for you. So you've learned purl increase, purl decrease. You've learned the knit. And again, it's relatively easy considering how complex it looks when it's done. And once you've figured it out, which for me was the beginning 4 triangles, then it's easy. Slip one, knit one, PSSO, pass, slip, stitch over, and that's it. So you'll continue working until this is your last stitch, and you've done that. You'll then pick up these stitches again. You'll work off of this, because I have butt, and then you'll pick these up working off of this section to the end, and then you already know how to do that left side triangle, and that'll be next. So once you're done with that, then you'll work yourself back over to the right. I only know how to finish the pattern if we're working right to left on those closed triangles. So you'll work this way, you'll work back over, and then I'll show you how to do the ending triangles.